Hey guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. It's been quite a while since our last chapter of Heaven Official's Blessing, but we are going to continue on today. Yeah, so we are up to chapter 17, Battle Between Gods and Ghosts. Ooh, okay, let's jump right into it. So, let's see. One ghost challenged 33 heavenly officials? Yes, so last we left off, we were discussing Hua-Chung, the Crimson Rain Sought Flower, and how he had gotten into a bit of a scuffle with the heavenly officials in the past. He challenged 33 heavenly officials and won. Correct. Yes, he did come up here and fight 33 of us. That's hard to believe. Really? Why would he do that? It is, but that's exactly what he did. At that time, Hua-Chung had only just become a devastation ghost and openly challenged 35 heavenly officials. Oh, 35? Or was it 33? 33. Oh, he challenged 35, but he only fought 33? Okay. Oh, here's a picture of him ascending the heavenly steps. 33 of the challenged officials found it hilarious and decided to band together to teach him a lesson. And I'm just assuming it didn't go so well for them. Martial gods were the first to accept the challenge. Your Highness should know that martial gods have the largest amount of believers and thus have the strongest spiritual powers, and that Hua-Chung, although a devastation ghost, was still a fledgling who wasn't powerful enough for gods to fear him. Unbelievably, after just one battle, the attending martial gods were all wiped out. Did he, when they say wiped out, did he just defeat them and knock them out until they surrendered? Or did he, kill them, annihilate them, eliminate them from this heavenly plane? Yiming, right there. Their spiritual weapons, no matter how powerful they were all shattered by Hua-Chung's strange saber. Ooh. Wow, Yiming is real powerful, guys. Wow. Is that so? Cool story, bruh. After the martial god's defeat, it was the civil god's turn to confront him in a debate, but it ended up being more of a battle of insults than a literary debate. Hua-Chung could talk of the past and present at great lengths, sometimes politely, sometimes viciously, sometimes bitingly, and always vigorously. Not only was he able to quote from many sources, but he could also mislead the audience with lies. He humiliated several civil gods from the heavens to the earth, from past to present, until they were so infuriated that they spat out waterfalls of blood and dyed the skies red. So Hua-Chung is both great at physical and academic prowess, let's say. Then again, he did live for thousands of years. He experienced a lot of these historical events firsthand, so it's no surprise that he is knowledgeable in history and literature. Hua-Chung became famous after just one battle. But this isn't the only reason he's scary. What else is there? He asked the 33 defeated heavenly officials to fulfill the promise they made when they accepted the challenge. Your Highness knows the importance of a ghost's ashes, right? As long as their ashes are not destroyed, a ghost is immortal. Even if their bodily flesh is damaged, they can still restore it. But if their ashes are destroyed, they will immediately scatter to dust and turn to smoke. What the two sides agreed on was that if Hua-Chung was defeated, he would offer up his ashes and leave it to the gods to dispose of. But if the heavenly officials lost, they would descend from the heavens and themselves and return to being mortals. Ooh, so there's a lot at stake for both sides. I guess for Hua-Chung it's more, because he would have his whole existence wiped out if he lost. But I'm pretty sure he had confidence in himself that he would win. And because the 33 officials lost, I'm assuming they became human again. So yeah, to recap, that was really short, to recap chapter 17, we're just kind of going over Hua-Chung's backstory and we are learning about his confrontation with the 33 heavenly officials. I wonder who the 2 officials were that decided not to take him up on his offer to battle, because it said he challenged 35, but only 33 fought him. So who are the other 2 that didn't fight him? Could they be Diansha's 2 sidekicks, maybe? What if he challenged the Emperor, the Heavenly Emperor, right? That's possible. Let's keep reading. Okay, next chapter. Episode 18, Battle Between Gods and Ghosts, Part 2. But who would be willing to return to the mortal realm and all its human suffering after they ascended godhood? You must have guessed it already. What was the reasoning? If not for Hua Cheng's arrogant attitude and resolute declarations, or the immense self-confidence of the heavenly officials, they would have never agreed to compete against him in both battle and debate. Although they went back on their promises and brought humiliation upon themselves, it was quickly swept under the rug. As an individual, it was humiliating, but as a group, it was not that bad. As long as they kept silent and pretended it never happened, it would have faded away in a few decades. So they went back on their promise, these heavenly officials. Then, what happened afterwards? Afterwards, what happened? Afterwards, things turned into a nightmare that still frightens heavenly officials every time it's mentioned. The ghostly fire that burned down the temples of 33 heavenly officials. Hua Cheng's like, if you're not gonna do it and keep your promise, I'm gonna take care of it myself. Are you saying that Hua Cheng burned down all the temples of those heavenly officials? Yes, with one fire in one night only, all of those temples were burned to the ground. To this day, no one knows how he did it. Worst of all, the battle was displayed to royalty and nobles in a dream. The heavenly officials planned to show off their prowess to their followers, but they had not anticipated that they would be defeated to such an extent. Hua Cheng caught them in 4K. After waking up from the dream, the royalty stopped worshipping the heavenly officials and instead started to pray to the Ghost King. Ooh, wow, what a flex. He just stole all of their followers. As for those 33 heavenly officials, after they lost all of their temples and followers, their powers decreased significantly and slowly started to diminish. Their empty spots weren't filled until new officials ascended to heaven. So did they end up disappearing or turning back into mortals since they lost their powers? They got replaced. Then who were the 2 heavenly officials that did not participate in the battle? Yeah, I want to know too. Who were they? Generals Nanyang and Xuanzhen. At the time, they weren't afraid of Hua Cheng. They just didn't think he was very significant and managed to accidentally avoid a catastrophe as a result. They didn't want to give him the time of day, and to their luck, they managed to avoid the fate of the 33 officials. But they didn't have it easy after that either. How so? Oh, thank you for the cha, by the way. While heavenly officials were patrolling at night during the Ghost Festival, Hua Cheng bumped into them several times and they fought at range. I was lucky enough to witness one of those fights, and the wraith butterflies Hua Cheng controls are truly terrifying. So, Fu Yao and Nanfeng decided that we're not gonna waste our time with this little ghost boy, but they still ended up duking it out in like the middle of the street, casually. With Hua Cheng's style, however, it's a bit strange that he hadn't done anything to offend your highness yet. Why hasn't he targeted Diansha? Yeah, I wonder about that. Actually, I think those silver butterflies are kind of cute. Hun Ai. I think they're only cute to Diansha. I believe they're probably really ferocious and terrifying to literally anyone else. Wow. Guys, look at Hua Cheng's temple. Look at that. Look at his palace. And wow, he's just sitting here, lounging on his little throne. And I believe these butterflies are kind of like message carriers too, right? Look at this. Look, he's got a red string of fate tied to his finger. Your Highness. Oh ho ho! Oh ho ho! So it looks like our dear Hua-cheng is thinking about Diansha, ties to Diansha. Good for him, as he should. Diansha is a beauty. And, of course, Diansha is also his savior and the light of his life, so understandable. And I'm pretty sure he's using those butterflies probably to track and monitor Diansha to make sure he's okay. You know, I'm pretty sure he's not going to antagonize Diansha. As we saw already, he's kind of whipped. He's kind of a simp, which, you know what? Good for him. He's waited hundreds of years to reunite with Diansha. So, you know, let's give him some slack. Okay, so that was chapter 18. To recap, we finished up the story about Hua-cheng's battle with 33 officials. It turns out the 2 officials that did not fight him were Diansha's sidekicks, as I predicted. But yeah, even the butterflies, people are scared of his butterflies. They think that, oh, they're really ferocious. But Diansha's like, actually, they're really pretty. They're translucent, and they're really sparkly, and they're really helpful and kind. They help lead me out of the rainy forest of blood. So I think you guys are over-exaggerating. Hua-cheng, the Ghost King, can't be that bad. He's kind of like wearing, I think, tinted shades when thinking about Hua-cheng. And I believe that's the same for Hua-cheng as well. Literally, he's wearing like sparkly glasses whenever he thinks or looks at Diansha. And so they're pretty much whipped for each other. And I can't wait until they meet up in person again in the future chapters. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's read-along, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!